Hi everybody, it's Lisa from Flying Go Farm. I'm in a little bit different place today. So what's happening here on the farm is that just a little while ago it was raining cats and dogs, and seriously, that's what our weather station says on the printout or on the video thing that it shows, and says raining cats and dogs. It's like, we love that. It just cracks us up every time. I think we got like an inch in like 40 minutes or something like that. So yeah, it was raining really hard. So I thought, well, instead of schlepping everything over to the studio, I think I'll just come up here. This is, it used to be like an outside room off of our master bedroom. And it was kind of dangerous looking. It wasn't very well built. So we had this rebuilt. And so it's all enclosed now, lots of nice windows. Bill has some of his orchid collection up here, which you can't see. Behind me, this is a really, really long quilt that was a friendship quilt that I started when I was in Oregon. Each of us had a theme, and mine was Japanese. And so my block that I started with is at the top. So it's up there. It's Mount Fuji with some cranes. And then each one of the rows here was made by a different person. Every month we would pick kind of a theme for that month, and then whoever's box you had to somehow work it into their overall theme, and then, you know, what we needed to do. Like one of them was monochrome. One was applique, so like all these jars up here were all machine appliqued. Each one has a cute little button on there that you can't rightly see. One person did a whole bunch of these hexagons here, but you know, hexagons don't make a very good row. So what I did was I took them all apart and put them around the sashing on the outside. So it's a really big, long quilt, but it fits into this space really nicely. So that's what you're looking at. And so that's kind of what's happening on the farm. So the first thing that I always have to do on these right now is my No Rhinebeck Sweater update. I was hoping to have one whole sleeve done, but I didn't really knit this weekend. I should have, but I didn't. We had other things going, and I just wasn't in the mood. But anyway, I have most of this sleeve done here. I'm at the point, it's about like right here on me. I think I have like another maybe inch or so, and then I want to make really long cuffs. So right now I'm decreasing in order to get down to 30 stitches so that I can make a nice tight cuff, because I like to like push it up a little bit, and so I need to decrease some stitches, but I'm almost done with that sleeve. And then when I'm done with that sleeve, I will start this one. And I've been trying to keep notes, because I did, like I told you before, I kind of changed the pattern. She wanted the decreases on this sleeve to be down 2 stitches every 4 rows, and oh my god, the arm was like this big around, and it just looked stupid. So I ended up really reducing really quickly to pull this down so that it fits better on the top of my arm. I did keep kind of good notes, not hugely great notes. So I hope I can recreate it on this side. But every place that I decreased was underneath the armpit. It's kind of like, it kind of turned out to be like a gusset. It looks a little wonky now, but I think it'll be fine once I block it. But I'm really enjoying this. I like the length. Again, for those of you who are new, I can't tell exactly who's here because you're just out of my point of range. But so I was worried about having enough yarn, since this is hand spun yarn. So I stopped at this part in the body, and I put these stoppers on the ends of my circular cable. And then once I finish the sleeves and I know exactly how much I have left, then I will figure out how much of a ribbing or how much more of the body I can do. So that's it. It's now the 10th of September. And so I think I have like 5 weeks, so I better get knitting. I have 5 weeks to get this done so that I can have it for Rhinebeck. So that is my No Rhinebeck sweater update. I don't know if any of you guys are doing a sweater. I hope that you think about it at least. If you need inspiration or if you want to have a sweater mentor, just shoot me an email or a Facebook Messenger and I'd be happy to be your mentor and say, okay, now you do this one and now you do that one. And then I also wanted to talk about needles today because when I was doing this sleeve, I started out with a small circular needle and it was really driving me crazy because I kept having to move the knitting around it, and it was just kind of like, it was annoying. So I decided, and I hate double pointed needles. I really hate double pointed needles. Last year I decided to try these. So these are these flexible double points. So it has like a little cable on the inside, and it has one end that's kind of like a blunt end, and then it has another end that's more pointy. So I'll put them up like that so you can see there's the two ends are a little bit different. I'm liking to knit with the pointier end. It just helps me pick up the stitches better. And so I am liking these double points because they are longer. So I did drop a couple stitches, but I haven't dropped a lot of stitches. The one thing that I don't understand about these, so in a package, you get 3 needles. So that means you have, stitches on 2 needles and 1 to knit with. And it seems to me that if I was going to be doing a hat, I'd be having some problems. And these are not cheap needles. I think they were like in the $30 range for a set. These are size 8s. And I got a set to do mittens on, which I think are 3s. 2s or 3s. I think they're 3s. But I'm thinking, I would think you would need 2 sets. Because I would feel more comfortable if I had 3 needles with the stitches on it and 1 that was your working needle. I think that would be more helpful. It's fine for this project, but I think doing it on a hat would be a little bit of an issue. But maybe, again, here's what you do. Maybe you start out on a circular needle, and when you start decreasing for the crown of the hat is when you switch to these needles. Yeah, I did drop a couple stitches, but in reality, they're so much better than just your straight double pointed needles. I know some people may disagree with me, and this is just my opinion. I think my friend Kathy, I think she tried these and she didn't like them at all. But maybe she agrees with me that if they had given 4, that you could distribute your stitches a little better and still have one for working. So that led me to think about, well, maybe I should talk about needles a little bit and share like some of the things that have happened that have just been like some of the pitfalls and some of the needles that I love. So any of these things that I'm going to be telling you about, they have not paid me. They have not given me anything. This is purely my own opinion, and a lot of people may differ with that. But so it's just my own opinion. Maria says she tried those, but she didn't like them either. Yeah, the chai goos are really, really good. I have a red one for doing a red cable for doing socks. That's the only ones that I have. My go-to needles, right, for most every project except for socks is the Knit Picks, and this is going to be just a partial, but these interchangeable wooden needles. I just think they're beautiful, number one. Who doesn't like working with beautiful things? So this one is the Caspian wood. So it's like blues and greens and yellows. I also have, and I don't know what the names of these ones are. I also have the ones that are this color. Because, you know, you needed 3 million interchangeable needles, right? And I think the first set that I got was I got the ones that are just the metal ones. Because, you know, a lot of times you do want to have metal needles instead of the wooden ones. The wooden ones, they provide a little bit more friction. And so if you want to go fast, and you have, you know, like a wool kind of yarn, you may want to have the stainless steel ones. If you are doing something that is a little bit more slippery, like if a silk or a mohair or an alpaca, you may want to have the wood ones, because those ones aren't going to be it's not going to be so easy for the stitches to drop off of these, and they do drop off of the ones for that are sterling. They're not sterling silver, stainless steel. I wish they were sterling silver. They'd be worth a bunch, right? Anyway, so I have 3 sets of those. The bad part about these sets is that they go from size 4 to size 11. 4 to 11. So if you want to do anything smaller, you can't, they don't have the interchangeables for that. I believe Chai-Gu does have an interchangeable set that is for lace knitting that goes like from 0 to 3 or 0 to 4. And I am going to be investing in that at some point. Not right now, but at some point I will probably get some of those to try those out, because I do like their needles. They're really nice. I was looking on internet, one of my friends, she was using these and the wood broke. And I don't know if that was something that was just like a defective needle, or if it was just hard use. I haven't had that problem, and they have stayed very, they're not rough, very smooth. Some of them can have a problem with the screw in. Again, it's I have one where the screw in is not quite right, but it doesn't. But I can get it in well enough that it isn't bad. So I do like those. I have 3 sets, so I do like those. Before I got these sets, and I was just kind of starting out, I went cheap. And I want to tell you, please do not do cheap. Yeah, Sandy says she doesn't like the metal ones because she doesn't like the way they sound. Okay? That's, yeah, click, click, click all the time, right? So I found these. It's a very cute, like, whole set. It went from... I'm just checking here. Yeah, it went from zeros to 10.5 US needles. And I think it was incredibly cheap. So you get all this, you get, you know, 1 million needles inside. See how many I haven't even used because they're still in the plastic here. And this is the problem with this. So I don't know if I can even show this appropriate. Let me see if I can get in any closer so you guys can see and see if it will. So on this cable is squishy, and it is the ends of the cable is just glued in to this squishy cable. You can already see the kink. Yeah. They are bamboo. I think that they're all the same length, and I want to say that these are like maybe a 32 inch. And I want to say that they were like $12, $15, maybe 20 for a lot. That's a lot of needles. Don't buy these. My personal opinion. What was I knitting? I was knitting something, like I think I was knitting a cowl. And all of a sudden the glue undid itself. And here I am with the needle and with stitches coming, you know, and the rest of my cowl on here, but the stitches were already like starting to come off. And I think it was something big enough that I was taking up like the whole cable. Yeah, the horror of it. It was horrible. And like you can see, it, you know, it already, this one is a size 5, which I don't use very much. So don't go cheap. Get something that is going to be good. These, again, these tubes, it's not right. The smaller ones, the smaller one here, this is a size 0. And it still is a tube. It still has the ends, you can see, still the ends are glued in to that tube. So I don't think I will be using these. I haven't used them since that happened. What should I do with them? I mean, would you donate them? If I donated them, I'd have to put like a little note in here, like buyer, beware of these, be careful, because they can break on you. You know, you need to be really, really careful. So yeah, I'll just mention the name. It's called Stitchberry Premium Bamboo. Yeah, the bamboo may be premium, but the tubes and the glue, not so premium. It's cute because it's all kind of self-contained. And I think I will put this into my donation pile. I also wanted to show you, so, you know, I think my go-to needles really are circular needles. I like them. I don't mind doing the magic loop, and I do really like them. So Marie is saying, Blue Chigo set lets you have 9-inch circulars. Yeah. 9 inches, that would be good for hats, I guess. I know some people do socks on those. With socks, you'd still have to do a magic loop, I think, if you were going to do one sock with one circular needle. I like doing socks 2 at a time, like you guys have heard before, and I use a longer one, like, you know, a 36 or 40-inch circular needle, and I just love doing that. So because I love circular needles, I have a million of them. This isn't even all of them, because I do still have these kind of things. So I don't, these mostly are the ones that are all one piece. Like Maria, here's my red Chigu one. Some Addy Turbos in there that I have. So I got this on Etsy. So it's a long piece of fabric, and it has these little sleeves in it, and you can put your circular needles in it, and then I just hang it on the wall. It would be really good, it would be really organized if I put them like by size. I should do that. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. Like put all the zeros at the top, then 1s, 2s. I think maybe I only have one set of zeros, but I think I have a lot of 1s, and I have a lot of 4s, because those are my go-tos. And then on the back, it has a little pocket, and you can put your needle, what do they call these things? Your needle knitting gauge thing inside that pocket. So it's all there, self-contained. So, and this I got on Etsy, and I wish they had put a label, because I was like, well, how can I tell you So I think what I did is I just searched on Etsy for circular needle organizers, and this one I liked. There are a lot that are like CD cases where you can keep them kind of rolled up, but I like this because a worm binder for your I like this one because they're not all wound up, and so they tend to relax more, and I can keep them without being all kinked up. They're still a little bit kinky, but they're mostly pretty nice. So that is my needle roundup for today, and I wanted to let you guys know that this weekend, it actually started today, is the Vogue Knitting Live for September. They have a really good deal. I know some people get upset that they've been asking for an entrance fee into the marketplace. But it's a $3.99 entrance fee. And for that, there's more than 50 vendors this time. Each hour they have like three to five vendors at each time slot, and each vendor has 2 time slots. So if you miss them the first time, you can get them the next time. And they also have other rooms there. It's all a Zoom room, so you're in the room with the vendor. For us, we do cute animal videos, and I run through all of my yarns, and I show you some of the great patterns that go with each of the yarns. We have, we answer questions if you have questions about things, and it's really a good time. It's fun because, like last time, we had people from Alaska and Hawaii, and so it's really fun to see who's all there. They have other rooms too, like some like knitting rooms set up, like, community rooms. And so it's not just, you're spending $3.99 to go shopping. That's part of it, but you also get part of the whole Vogue Knitting Live feel by being able to go into those auxiliary rooms and talk to designers and meet other people who love to knit. They also, of course, they have their great slate of teachers and classes. You can still look to see what's available. Usually the really hot people get picked up, get sold out right away. But sometimes they will add, extra sessions. So if that interests you, that would be great. Our times for this weekend, it's both Saturday and Sunday. It will show up in their feed as 12 noon Central Time. This really, I really had a hard time figuring out. So does that mean it's 11 here? Does that mean it's 1 here? I had to put it in my phone in the world clock to say, okay, if it's noon Central Time, what time will it be here? I know, kind of dumb. It's kind of one of those ditzy moments. So if you're here on the East Coast, it's actually 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central Time. And I guess it would be 10 o'clock Pacific Time if you're there. Kathy, in Saba, I think, are you Central Time? So you might be already Central Time. So that would be good for you. So I just wanted to say hi. It's Thursday Thrums. I'm so glad that you came to visit me today. And I hope that we'll meet each other again, either online or in person. I should also mention one more thing. So talking about in person. So next weekend, the 19th, we will have an open studio day here. We're practicing social distancing. We're wearing masks. We have hand sanitizer. We allow 2 people into the studio at a time. There are cushy seats outside to wait if there is a line. Otherwise, you can come in and shop and see everything in person. So that's the 19th. It's from 10 to 3. Avalon Springs Farm and Dancing Leaf Farm will also be open during those hours. So if you are, again, local and you missed having the Fiber Art Studio tour, our 3 stops are open and doing this together. So until next Thursday, happy making.